As we work with the text, one thing I'm not a big fan of is vertical text is hard to read, and the character name is as we look at this, I read this as Fantastic Fairy. I don't read furniture into the character's name at all. So what I want to do is I want to bring that together so we know that's the full complete name. That furniture is just not there off to the side. And so to do this, I think what you need to do is make the fairy a little bit smaller, for that. And I think you need to move it in a little bit for that purpose. And I think as you do something like this, and putting the text together, I think it's going to make it a lot easier to work with. So one of the things I would do, first thing I would do to help with this and give you some room, I would remove this chair from the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that, I'm just going to select it with my lasso tool, and I'm going to go up to edit, fill. I'm going to choose content aware. I'm going to click OK. It should fill it in nicely. If you might have to do some other touch-up work, but again, let's remove that so we get more room with this. And then with that said, let's scale the character down. You got a lot of layers that you're not using, so I'm not sure. We'll just go up here and do 75%. Yeah, I'm going to do 75% up the width and height. Yeah, that's going to give us enough room to work with that. And then what you can do is you can say fantastic furniture. You can put fantastic furniture up here at the top, and then you can leave fairy down here at the bottom. Um, I would probably, if I was going to do this with the like fantastic, I would put this in between the trees. Utilize the space that's there. You know, you got this tree. I typically like to have you create your own background, from scratch, and things like that. So, if you're going to use an image, you got to utilize the space that's there. And then I would bring furniture up there right below that, and so forth. Now, to really make this your own, I would add some other tweaks to your document. So one of the things you could do, I'm not a big fan on how the curve is over on the left edge of the door. It's not very. I like symmetry. Symmetry is usually good. So I think you do the same thing over here on the right. I'm not a big fan right now of the arms. I think I brought this up before, so I think we need to work on the arms a little bit. Do something different there. I don't think we see it as arms because we definitely, my eyes go right to the wings for that purpose. And I also think, what you could do, and I'll go to my backdrop here, I'll create a new layer right above this to make the character feel a little more part of the composite. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a light green color for the foreground. Background, I'm going to choose a darker green. Then we'll go to my paintbrush tool. And there happens to be grass brushes that you can work with. And I have used it in the past, and that's why it's listed here. But you would have to go in and open up the general brushes. And what you do is when you click on this drop down list, you have different, you can go in and add different brushes that you need to. And for that, and usually it should be under general brushes, so if you don't see that listed, you might have to import it and reset it back in. And what I do here is I take, like, for example, this brush here, and what I'm doing is I'm painting in And I'm not sure where your legs are. Why your legs? Oh, we might have to put, I'm sorry, we might have to move that above your legs so it feels like it's behind it. And then what you can do, you can use a smaller brush and then you can change the colors just a little bit, make it a little bit darker and a little bit lighter in this case. And then you just paint across there to create some depth to it. So it makes it feel like you're in part of that. And then what will happen is with the text, since it's down there with the grass, it gives it a little bit area to make it easier to read for that purpose.